Have you ever noticed how small changes in your diet can have a surprisingly big impact on your health? When we talk about the prostate, this becomes even more evident. Imagine being able to shrink this organ in size by half, simply by eliminating 3 specific foods from your diet. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? The reality is that many men suffer unnecessarily from prostate problems, unaware that the solution might be right there, on their daily plate. Today, I will reveal not only which are these problematic foods, but also how to substitute them in a practical and efficient way. And the best part, you will discover how to make these changes without giving up flavor and the pleasure of eating well. The reality of prostate health dives deep into a complex universe of challenges that affect millions of men daily. Issues like benign prostatic hyperplasia are not just medical statistics, but real experiences that directly impact quality of life. The prostate, this small organ the size of a walnut, can become a source of constant concern when it does not receive the proper care. Changes in prostatic function can provoke uncomfortable symptoms that go far beyond mere momentary discomfort. Difficulties in urination, frequent nighttime interruptions in sleep, feelings of incomplete bladder emptying. All of this can turn a man's routine into a true daily challenge. These problems do not choose age, affecting relatively young men and intensifying over the years. Modern science has revealed surprising connections between our diet and prostate health. Recent research demonstrates that certain nutritional components can play a crucial role in the growth and inflammation of the prostate. It is not just about eliminating foods, but deeply understanding how our diet interacts with our biological system. The metabolic stress caused by poor food choices can trigger silent inflammatory processes that, over time, lead to abnormal prostate growth. Every meal represents an opportunity to nourish or harm this fundamental organ for male health. Nutrition ceases to be simply an act of eating and transforms into a conscious strategy of prevention and care. Experts have noted that men who adopt a balanced diet, rich in anti-inflammatory nutrients and low in processed foods, experience significantly fewer prostate problems. The connection between what we eat and the health of our bodies goes far beyond simple generic recommendations. It represents a true revolution in male self-care. The journey to a healthy prostate does not have to be complex or restrictive. Small changes can yield impressive results, completely transforming physical and emotional well-being. Understanding these mechanisms means not only following a diet, but adopting a lifestyle that values and respects the unique needs of the male body. The prostate, a complex and delicate organ, functions as an intricate system that requires specific attention and care. Its role goes far beyond what many imagine, acting crucially within the male urinary and reproductive systems. Every cell in this small walnut-shaped organ carries fundamental information about a man's overall health. The dynamics of prostate function are directly related to hormonal, nutritional, and metabolic factors. Its delicate structure can undergo significant alterations depending on the external and internal stimuli it receives. Hormones like testosterone play a critical role in its development and maintenance, directly influencing its size and functionality. When we talk about prostate health, we need to understand that it is not just an isolated organ, but part of a complex system that continuously interacts with different metabolic processes. Inflammations, abnormal growths, and dysfunctions can arise when this balance is disrupted, usually as a consequence of poor food choices, a sedentary lifestyle, and high stress levels. Prostatitis, an inflammatory condition that can affect men of all ages, represents a classic example of how imbalance can manifest itself. Its symptoms range from mild discomfort to intense pain, significantly impacting quality of life. Scientific research has shown that nutritional factors can decisively contribute to the development or prevention of these conditions. Understanding the internal mechanisms of the prostate means recognizing its vulnerability and recovery potential. Every food choice, every body movement, every moment of rest can represent an opportunity to strengthen or weaken this essential organ. Nutrition emerges as a powerful tool for intervention, capable of modulating inflammatory and metabolic processes. Knowledge about prostatic function transcends merely biological aspects, connecting deeply with emotional well-being and quality of life. Men who understand this dynamic are able to make more assertive decisions about their health, transforming potential risks into opportunities for self-care and prevention. The journey of understanding and caring for the prostate represents much more than a medical process. It is a path of connection between man and his own body, of respecting its needs and valuing its physical and emotional integrity. The 3 foods that I will reveal are true villains for prostate health. We are talking about silent enemies that can amplify prostate growth and compromise your quality of life. The first food is the famous bacon. This processed meat is not only rich in saturated fats, but also contains nitrates and preservatives that provoke inflammation in the body. Scientific studies show that regular consumption of processed meats is directly associated with an increased risk of prostate problems. Next on the list are full-fat dairy products. It may come as a surprise, but whole milk and its derivatives can be harmful to the prostate. The saturated fats and hormones present in these foods can stimulate abnormal cell growth in the prostate gland. Research reveals that men who reduce their intake of full-fat dairy products experience significant improvements in prostate-related symptoms. The third bombshell food is refined sugar. This ingredient, found in sodas, industrial sweets, and various processed foods, is a real trigger for inflammation in the body. Excessive sugar consumption leads to insulin spikes that can trigger silent inflammatory processes, directly impacting the function of the prostate. Eliminating these 3 foods does not mean entering a restrictive diet or losing the pleasure of eating. It means consciously choosing what to put on your plate. Replacing them with healthy alternatives can bring impressive benefits, reducing prostate swelling and significantly improving quality of life. Imagine being able to control the size of the prostate simply by paying attention to what you consume. These changes do not represent sacrifice, but rather an investment in your health. Every food choice is an opportunity to care for your body, prevent future problems, and ensure well-being. The transformation begins in the supermarket at the time of your shopping. Choosing fresh, minimally processed foods rich in anti-inflammatory nutrients can be your most powerful strategy against prostate problems. We are not talking about a restrictive diet, but rather a new way of relating to food. Every man has the power to influence his health through conscious choices. The prostate will thank you when you decide to treat it with respect, providing nutrients that strengthen and protect rather than overloading it with inflammatory triggering foods. Replacing problematic foods does not mean entering a restrictive regime, but rather adopting an intelligent nutrition strategy. There are fantastic alternatives that can maintain the flavor and pleasure of meals while promoting prostate health. Let's talk about practical and tasty substitutions. Instead of bacon, which is so harmful to the prostate, you can opt for lean proteins like grilled chicken, baked fish, or even seasoned tofu. These options are not only healthier, but also provide an incredible gastronomic experience. Full-fat dairy can be easily replaced with skimmed or plant-based versions. Almond, coconut, and oat milks are excellent alternatives that do not compromise the taste of preparations. Cheeses like ricotta and cottage cheese are lighter options that can complement your meals without causing prostate inflammation. As for refined sugar, the possibilities for substitution are endless. Natural sweeteners like honey, stevia, and xylitol can bring the desired sweetness without causing harmful insulin spikes. Fresh fruits are also great for adding natural sweetness to dishes and preparations. The key lies in culinary creativity. You do not need to be a chef to prepare nutritious and delicious meals. Experimenting with new ingredients, seasonings, and cooking techniques can completely transform your relationship with food. Herbs such as basil, thyme, and rosemary can add a burst of flavor without adding inflammatory components. It is important to highlight that these changes do not mean sacrifice, but rather an investment in health. Every food choice represents an opportunity to care for your body, prevent future problems, and ensure well-being. Transformation begins in the supermarket, at the time of making conscious purchases. Preparing meals at home allows full control over the ingredients. You can create amazing, nutritious dishes that protect your prostate. Smoothies, colorful salads, grilled lean proteins. The possibilities are endless. The secret lies in balancing flavor, nutrition, and pleasure when it comes to eating. Your prostate will thank you for every conscious choice. Anti-inflammatory nutrients, fresh and minimally processed foods will be your great allies on this journey of self-care and prevention. Changes in diet may seem challenging, but they do not always have to be traumatic. Many men find it difficult to break deeply ingrained food patterns, especially when they involve foods that have always been part of their routines. The desire for industrialized products, the rush of daily life, and the lack of time to prepare healthy meals are real barriers that prevent the adoption of more nutritious habits. The first strategy to overcome these obstacles is awareness. Understanding that every food choice represents an investment in health can be the necessary fuel to initiate this transformation. It is not about a radical overnight change, but rather about consistent small steps that over time create new eating patterns. Planning is the key to success. Preparing meals in advance, buying healthy foods at the supermarket, and having practical options on hand can make all the difference. There are countless alternatives for those with busy routines. Everything from prepped meals on Sundays to healthy meal delivery apps. Motivation also plays a crucial role. Setting realistic goals, celebrating small victories, and not being too hard on yourself can help maintain focus. If you slip up one day, it's okay. The important thing is to get back on track the next day. Another important tip is to seek support. Sharing your journey with family, friends, or even online support groups can provide extra motivation. Exchanging experiences, recipes, and tips can make the process lighter and more enjoyable. Technology can also be a great ally. Nutrition apps, websites with healthy recipes, and online communities focused on men's health can provide support and valuable information during this transition. Remember, changes in diet do not mean deprivation, but rather discovery. It is an opportunity to try new flavors, learn about different ingredients, and develop a more conscious relationship with food. Every meal represents a chance to nourish not just the body, but also the mind and spirit. The journey to a healthy prostate begins with small steps. It is not about perfection, but about consistent progress. Your health will appreciate every conscious choice you make. When we talk about food traps, many men fall into pitfalls without even realizing it. The food industry bombards our senses with products that seem healthy but actually hide significant risks for the prostate. A common mistake is believing that all foods labeled as diet or light are necessarily good for health. Another frequent misconception is the origin of products. Many people do not pay attention to the source of foods, buying industrialized products full of preservatives and chemicals that can trigger silent inflammatory processes in the body. The industrial transformation of foods often removes essential nutrients and adds harmful components. Buying foods without reading labels also represents a great risk. Ingredients like trans fats, hidden sugars, and preservatives can go unnoticed and directly compromise prostate health. It is essential to develop the habit of carefully checking what is being consumed. There is also the danger of falling into the nutrition marketing trap. Many packages use visual strategies and seductive text to convince the consumer that the product is healthy. In reality, these foods may be packed with harmful substances that impair prostatic function. The lack of knowledge about how to prepare foods properly is another dangerous trap. Incorrect cooking techniques can destroy the nutrients in foods or add harmful substances. Excessive frying, for example, generates carcinogenic compounds that overload the immune system. Another common pitfall is inadequately replacing foods. Swapping one processed food for another equally harmful option does not represent a real change in nutritional quality. It is important to seek genuinely nutritious alternatives that promote well-being. Consuming foods without considering one's own body's individuality can also be problematic. Every body reacts differently to nutrients, and what works for one person may not be ideal for another. The key is paying close attention and monitoring how your body responds to different foods. Developing nutritional awareness is the best antidote against these traps. It means being attentive, questioning the information presented, researching, and seeking knowledge about nutrition. Your prostate will appreciate every conscious and informed choice you make. Customizing nutritional recommendations is crucial to ensuring that changes are sustainable and enjoyable. Every man has a unique history with his diet, involving cultural preferences, dietary restrictions, and even specific health conditions. There is no one-size-fits-all model that works universally. For those following vegetarian or vegan diets, substitutions need to be even more strategic. Plant proteins like quinoa, lentils, and chickpeas can be excellent allies in protecting the prostate. Individuals with food intolerances can also adapt the recommendations without compromising the benefits. Subjects with accelerated metabolism or who engage in intense physical activities require different nutritional approaches. In such cases, caloric intake and the balance of macronutrients gain special relevance. The important thing is understanding that each body responds uniquely to foods. Those with hectic routines can invest in practical strategies like meal prepping on weekends, using quick cooking appliances, and healthy recipe apps. Prepared meal containers ensure that even on the busiest days, it is possible to maintain conscious eating. People with more discerning palates can discover new combinations of seasonings and culinary techniques that make healthy meals truly attractive. Trying different cuisines, such as Asian and Mediterranean, can expand the gastronomic and nutritional repertoire. Patients with specific medical conditions should always consult nutritionists and doctors before making significant changes. Individuality must be respected, taking into account family history, exams, and the particular needs of each organism. Mental flexibility is essential in this journey. It is not about rigidly following a diet, but rather establishing a more harmonious and conscious relationship with food. Every meal represents an opportunity for self-care and intelligent nutrition. The key is constant adaptation, self-awareness, and respect for one's own needs. Your prostate will thank you when you understand that health is not a finished product but a dynamic process of daily choices. We have reached the crucial moment to summarize our journey of knowledge about prostate health. The path we've traveled reveals the incredible potential for transformation through conscious food choices. Every man has the power to positively influence his health by eliminating 3 harmful foods and adopting an intelligent nutritional approach. Our goal was not only to inform, but to empower you to make decisions that will protect your prostate. Changes do not need to be radical, but must be consistent. Share this knowledge, inspire other men, and keep seeking information that promotes your overall well-being.